Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
So today, we're launching into the story of SpaceX, the American space tech company founded by Elon Musk.
That's right. Back in 2002.
We've gone through a ton of information, mostly a big company overview, really, to pull out the essentials for you.
Yeah, the key milestones, the tech, and just the huge impact they've had.
Exactly. And our mission for you, the learner, is to give you a clear, kind of engaging picture of SpaceX's journey.
Highlighting the big wins, the, surprising stuff without getting lost in all the jargon.
We're aiming for those aha moments, the things that make it stick. So where did it all kick off?
Oh, it's fascinating, actually. Back in the early 2000s, Elon Musk was already thinking pretty seriously about Mars.
Not just thinking, right. There was that Mars Oasis project.
Yeah, exactly. This idea of sending like a greenhouse to Mars.
Yeah.
Super ambitious.
Wow.
And he even went to Russia trying to buy an old ICBM, basically. A Dnipro rocket.
Huh. Yeah, I read about that. Trying to buy a Russian rocket. That sounds intense.
It does. And, well, it didn't work out. They kind of laughed him off, or the price was just crazy.
So instead of packing it in, he just thought,
okay, fine, I'll build my own. And that right there was the spark for SpaceX.
Incredible. And he set up some core principles pretty early on, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Key stuff, like vertical integration.
Meaning they build most of it themselves?
Pretty much everything, yeah. Design, manufacturing, all in-house. Very different from the usual aerospace way.
Which relied on lots of subcontractors, right?
Exactly. Complicated webs. SpaceX wanted control, speed. They also used commercial off-the-shelf parts where it made sense.
Okay, smart. And modular design, like Lego bricks.
Sort of, yeah. Adaptable components you can use across different rockets. It all fed into this main goal.
Which was?
To cut the cost of getting to space by a factor of 10 and make it more reliable.
A factor of 10? That's huge.
Revolutionary, really. And he pulled in some amazing people early on. Tom Mueller, the engine guy.
Ah, yes.
And Dwight Shotwell, who became, massively important.
Right, president and COO now. Okay, so fast forward a bit. Falcon 1.
Yep, their first rocket, small lift. And they funded it internally, which was gutsy.
Named after the Millennium Falcon, I hear.
Uh-huh. Bit of a Star Wars nod there.
Oh, nice. But it wasn't easy getting it off the ground, was it?
Oh, definitely not. The first 3 launches, they failed.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Ouch. The pressure must have been immense.
Huge. They were apparently running on fumes. Money-wise, both SpaceX and Tesla were close to going under.
Wow, that close.
Yeah. But before that third failure, something interesting happened. They actually protested a NASA contract.
Really? Protested NASA?
Yeah, NASA gave a contract to a company called Kistler Aerospace. SpaceX argued they could do it better, cheaper.
Bold move.
It was. And it actually helped lead to NASA creating this new program, COTS. Commercial Orbital Transportation Services.
Ah, the COTS program. That became super important.
Absolutely critical. It was NASA saying, okay, we need commercial partners to get cargo to the space station.
And SpaceX got picked in 2006.
Yep.
Got a COTS contract worth nearly $400 million. A lifeline, really. But they still needed Falcon 1 to work.
So launch number 4.
Was make or break, September 2008. And it worked. First successful orbital launch for a privately funded, liquid-fueled rocket.
Huge relief, I bet. And then came the really big contract.
That's right, the CRS contract.
That's right.
Commercial Resupply Services. $1.6 billion from NASA to actually fly cargo missions to the ISS.
That must have been the moment they knew they'd survive.
Absolutely saved the company. And it's interesting, they retired Falcon 1 pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, why? It finally worked.
They decided to focus all efforts on the bigger rocket, the Falcon 9. Falcon 1 proved they could do it, but Falcon 9 was the future.
Gotcha. And Gwynne Shotwell got promoted to president around then for landing that CRS deal?
Yeah, she was instrumental in securing that contract. Major step up.
Okay, so on to Falcon 9 and Dragon. They skipped Falcon 5,
So
right?
straight to Falcon 9, a much heavier lift vehicle, and crucially, designed from the outset with reusability in mind, even if it wasn't implemented yet.
And NASA kept supporting them through CDONs.
Yep, another, $278 million specifically for Falcon 9 and the Dragon spacecraft development, plus demonstration flights.
So Falcon 9 first launched.
June 2010, successful first flight.
And Dragon followed soon after.
December 2010, first operational Dragon flight. Reached orbit, came back, huge success.
And they were already cranking them out.
By the end of 2010, yeah, the pace was picking up, building one Falcon 9 and one Dragon every 3 months. Pretty impressive ramp up.
And already thinking about astronauts.
Definitely. NASA gave them another $75 million contract to develop a launch escape system for Dragon. You need that for crew safety.
Right, the Super Dracos. So the company's value is climbing?
Oh, yeah. By early 2012, valuation hit about $1.3 billion. Things were looking up.
And the big moment for Dragon.
May 2012, Dragon becomes the first commercial spacecraft ever to dock with the International Space Station and deliver cargo.
That feels like history being made.
It really was a massive validation of the whole commercial cargo idea and NASA's COYETS program, really.
And while all this is happening, they're starting to test landing rockets.
Exactly. Late 2012, the active reusability test program kicks off, trying to bring those first stages back. That was always part of the long-term plan to slash costs.
The game changer. Okay, moving into, say, 2013, 2015, they start flying for non-NASA customers.
Yep. 2013 saw their first purely commercial mission for a private satellite company. SES, I think.
And they started winning a lot of contracts.
They did. In 2014, they won something like 9 out of the 20 commercial launch contracts up for grabs globally, almost half the market.
That must have shaken up these. And NASA kept the faith, awarding them the commercial crew contract.
Yes, September 2014, the CCT CAP contract, commercial crew transportation capability. Huge deal alongside Boeing to fly astronauts.
And then came a massive investment.
January 2015, Google and Fidelity Investments put in $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yep, valued the company at $12 billion. Big jump.
And that same year, they announced Starlink.
Uh-huh. The plan for this huge constellation of satellites to provide global broadband internet, another massive, ambitious project.
But 2015 also saw a setback.
Yeah, the first major Falcon 9 failure during a launch, the CRS-7 mission carrying cargo to the ISS.
What happened there?
Turned out to be a faulty steel strut inside the upper stage liquid oxygen tank, a relatively small part causing a catastrophic failure.
A tough reminder of how complex this all is.
Absolutely. But they grounded the fleet, figured it out, fixed it, and moved on. And later that year, a huge milestone.
The landing.
December 2015, first successful landing of a Falcon 9 first stage back on land. Orbcom 2 mission. People went nuts.
I bet. Seeing a rocket land itself. Science fiction made real.
Totally. And then just a few months later, April 2016.
The drone ship landing.
First successful landing on one of their autonomous spaceport drone ships out in the ocean. Even harder technically.
Right. Of course I still love you. Great name.
Yeah. And they started offering discounts for flying unused boosters.
A 10% discount, I read. Making reusability a real commercial advantage.
Exactly. But then, another setback. September 2016.
The Amos 6 explosion. That wasn't during launch, though.
No, it was during a routine pre-launch static fire test on the pad. The rocket and the satellite were completely destroyed. Big blow.
What caused that one?
It was complex, involved the composite overwrapped pressure vessels, COPVs, inside the oxygen tank, and how super chilled liquid oxygen interacted with them led to changes in fueling procedures.
So another grounding.
Yep. But again, they investigated thoroughly and got back to flight pretty quickly, January 2017.
And then the next big reusability step.
March 2017. They launched the SES-10 satellite on a Falcon 9 booster that had already flown before.
The first reflight of an orbital rocket booster carrying a payload.
Exactly. And then they landed that reused booster again. That proved the concept. Reusability was real and operational.
Just amazing progress. So by 2017, 2018, they're really hitting their stride.
Absolutely dominant. Another big funding round in July 2017 pushed the valuation to $21 billion.
And market share?
In 2017, they captured something like 45% of the global market for awarded commercial launch contracts. Just huge.
45%.
Yeah. And by March 2018, their launch manifest had over 100 flights booked, worth around $12 billion. Clearly the world leader in commercial launch.
And somewhere in there, Elon Musk started the Boring Company, digging tunnels.
2017, yeah. Another venture focused on transportation tunnels shows that diversification interest.
Okay, let's bring it up to more recent times, since 2019 or so. What have been the big themes?
Well, continued massive growth, more funding rounds, valuations skyrocketing past $100 billion by late 2021.
$100 billion.
Oh.
Wow.
Starlink becoming operational has been huge. Deploying thousands of satellites, starting service.
And Starship development, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Huge focus. Manufacturing, testing. Starship is the future, the big Mars rocket, fully reusable, largest ever built.
And they won that NASA contract to use Starship as the lunar lander for Artemis.
The HLS contract, yeah, Human Landing System.
Mm-hmm.
A massive vote of confidence from NASA in the Starship architecture.
And Starlink keeps expanding. Partnerships with Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure.
Right, for ground infrastructure. The first big batch of 60 Starlink satellites launched back in May 2019.
And now it's the biggest satellite constellation ever.
By far. Thousands of them up there. They even bought a small satellite company, Swarm Technologies, in 2021.
And got FCC approval for thousands more next-gen satellites.
Yep, they're going all in on Starlink. And they've also developed Starshield.
Starshield, what's that?
Basically a version of Starlink tailored for government and military use. Secure communications, potentially hosting spy satellite payloads.
Interesting. So defense applications, too. And they just released a smaller Starlink dish.
Yeah, Starlink Mini, June 2024. More portable. Try and broaden the user base.
And we saw that private spacewalk mission, Polaris Dawn.
2024, yeah. First commercial spacewalk using Dragon, pushing the envelope on private human spaceflight activities.
Though there have been some concerns raised, like about Chinese investment.
Yeah, reports in 2025 about Chinese investors using third-party funds raised some national security flags in the U.S., understandably.
Right. Okay, back to Starship testing.
Yeah.
It hasn't all been smooth.
Definitely not. It's iterative development, test, fly, break things, learn, repeat. The first orbital flight test in April 2023.
Ended in a big explosion midair.
Yep. Second one, November 2023, the booster and ship exploded separately but got further.
Guard flight.
March 2024. Reached space, planned trajectory, but was lost during re-entry. Still, major progress.
Fourth flight, June 2024, seemed like a big step. Soft splashdowns.
Yeah, and that was the one where the FAA introduced a new clause to potentially speed up future test approvals, trying to accelerate things.
Then the fifth flight, October 2024. The tower catch.
First successful catch of the super heavy booster by the launch tower arms, Mechazilla. Huge milestone for rapid reusability.
But the sixth flight had issues.
November 2024, yeah. Booster aborted its landing burn, splashed down hard. Ship relit its engines in space, though, another test objective.
And the seventh flight, early 2025.
That was the first flight of the upgraded Block 2 Starship. Booster catch worked again, but the ship failed during ascent. Led to another FAA investigation.
And then another failure in March 2025 with debris.
Yeah, that one failed minutes into flight. Debris reported over Florida. Early signs point to an oxygen leak and fires causing the self-destruct. Still under investigation.
So, yeah, development is hard, but incredibly ambitious.
That's the SpaceX way, seems like. Push hard, accept some failures as part of learning fast. You know, they even had layoffs in 2019, partly to fund Starship and Starlink development.
Right. Okay, shifting gears, slightly crude launches. Demo 2 in May 2020 was massive.
Oh, absolutely historic. First time a private company sent NASA astronauts to the ISS.
And the first crewed orbital launch from U.S. soil in almost a decade since the shuttle retired.
Huge moment. Restored that capability for the U.S., and Dragon has been flying crews regularly ever since.
We also saw the HQ move from California to Texas.
August 2024, yeah. Officially moved HQ to Starbase in Brownsville, Texas. Cited California regulations, but clearly Starship's gravity pulling things there.
Though Hawthorne stays important for Falcon and Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Still a major engineering and production hub. And they bought a parachute company.
Pioneer Aerospace, November 2023. Makes sense. Dragon needs parachutes. Vertical integration again.
Securing that supply chain.
So, quick hardware recap. Rockets. Falcon 1 gone. Falcon 9, the workhorse. Falcon Heavy, the big one for now.
And Starship, the future, super heavy, fully reusable, still in testing.
Engines. Merlin, Kestrel, Draco, Super Draco for Dragon, and the big one, Raptor for Starship. All developed in-house.
Right. Spacecraft. Dragon 1, a retired cargo. Dragon 2, cargo and crew. And Dragon XL, planned for lunar gateway supply.
Plus the drone ships for landings and the whole Starlink constellation. It's a lot of hardware.
It really is. An incredible amount developed in just over 2 decades.
And they've dipped their toes in other things, too, like that Hyperloop competition.
Yeah, they ran that for a few years, 2015, 2019, spurring university innovation.
And the COVID antibody testing for employees.
2020, yeah. Used their resources for internal health. And that mini-sub for the Thai cave rescue.
Oh, right, 2018. Wasn't used in the end, but they built it super fast.
Showed their rapid prototyping capability, even for something totally different.
Facilities-wise, they're spread out now. Hawthorne, still key.
Yep, Falcon Dragon manufacturing, mission control. But Starbase in Texas is huge now for Starship.
McGregor, Texas for engine testing.
Crucial facility. Redmond, Washington for Starlink satellites. Bastrop, Texas for the Starlink user terminals.
And launch sites all over Florida, California, Texas.
Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Center, Vandenberg, Starbase. Gives them lots of options.
Let's talk contracts. Obviously, huge NASA deals for ISS cargo and crew.
COS, CRS, commercial crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, the Lunar Gateway logistics, plus the Starship HLS for the moon landing. NASA is a massive customer.
But also military contracts, U.S. Air Force, NRO.
Increasingly, yes. Launching national security payloads, breaking ULA's monopoly there was a big deal. And reports suggest they're involved in building a spy satellite network for the NRO.
Which has made other countries nervous. China, Russia.
Yeah, there have been concerns raised about SpaceX's role in potential U.S. missile defense systems or space-based surveillance. It gets complicated geopolitically.
Although, as you mentioned, there was that report saying Musk himself doesn't have access to the government secret side.
Right. December 2024 Wall Street Journal report suggests some internal compartmentalization, likely.
And their pricing really shook up the market.
Fundamentally, forced competitors like Arianespace and ULA to respond. Lower prices, reusability. It changed the economics of launch.
NASA's approach, using those Space Act agreements instead of traditional contracts, gets some credit for enabling that.
Yeah, many argue it allowed SpaceX more flexibility and speed, leading to lower development costs compared to cost-plus contracts.
And they're even competing in the small satellite market now. Rideshare.
Exactly. Their rideshare and bandwagon programs offer affordable launches for small satellites, putting pressure on dedicated small launchers, too.
Okay, shifting to the company itself. Corporate affairs, obviously huge revenue growth, massive valuation, key leaders.
Elon Musk as CEO, chair, CTO, Gwynne Shotwell as president and COO, seen as incredibly effective operationally.
There were reports of leadership changes down at Starbase.
To speed things up?
Yeah, Musk reportedly taking a more direct role, pushing the pace on Starship development.
But there have also been less positive reports about workplace culture.
Yes, that's definitely part of the story. Allegations have surfaced over the years, claims of a male-dominated culture, instances of sexual harassment.
Long hours, burnout. That's frequently mentioned. Very demanding environment. And reports of higher injury rates than the industry average at their facilities.
And lawsuits.
Yeah, former employees filed a lawsuit in June 2024 alleging illegal firing after they raised concerns about harassment and discrimination.
And government investigations.
There's a DOJ lawsuit alleging discrimination against hiring refugees and asylum seekers. SpaceX filed a motion to dismiss that early 2025, and reports in late 2024 mentioned investigations into potential security clearance issues and Musk's alleged drug use.
So a complex picture on the corporate side, too.
Definitely. Groundbreaking company, but facing significant scrutiny on workplace and legal fronts.
What about environmental impact? That's come up too, especially in Texas.
Yeah, allegations of ignoring environmental rules, particularly around water discharge at Starbase. They've received citations and fines from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and the EPA.
And the Starship explosions causing debris, air pollution concerns.
Yes. The Flight 7 failure in 2025, with debris falling, raised local environmental concerns. Launching rockets, especially big ones frequently, has environmental trade-offs that are still being assessed and debated.
Right. Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. Key takeaways.
Well, I mean, starting from almost nothing, this really ambitious was...
To becoming this dominant force in space, pushing rocket tech, reusability.
Yeah, completely changing the game for commercial spaceflight. Lowering costs dramatically.
But it's been a journey, right?
Yeah.
Amazing achievements, but also failures, challenges.
Definitely. And impacting not just space, but raising questions about commercial power, national security, environmental impact.
It's a huge story still unfolding.
Absolutely. Their impact is undeniable, reshaping how we think about and access space.
So a final thought then for you, the learner. We've seen SpaceX innovate incredibly fast, move into internet with Starlink, maybe defense stuff.
Yeah, they don't stand still.
So thinking about that pace and diversification, what you think might be the next unexpected frontier they try to disrupt? And what kind of ripple effects, what societal implications might that have? Something to chew on.
Good question. Definitely something to think about.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.